Hi everyone, this is your host Prasha, and welcome to a brand new episode of Her STEM Story, the podcast. And again, I'm so excited to bring this show back with a bang for all of you and ready to bring in some amazing guests online, ready to have some real conversations, ready to have a lot of discussions, and ready to create a community and continuously sustain it and continuously grow it. Her STEM story is super special to my heart. This started in November of 2017, and since then it has completely changed my life and allowed me to connect with incredible people like yourself. So let's get started and celebrate the return of the show, but also talk about something super important. And today we're going to talk about how to how to sustain your success in STEM and beyond. And this is so important because sustainability is a topic that is really, really, really important to address, because so many times we're switching from goals to goals and just continuously lose our sight on what's sustainable and what's not. So let's get started. Hi there, this is Prasha Dutra, and I'm passionate about helping you unlock your true potential in your science, technology, engineering, and mathematics career and beyond. Less than a decade ago, I moved to the US from India to live my American dream. I took my engineering career to the next level by starting my own consulting and coaching company while thriving at my 9 to 5 job. Money, time management, career planning, and personal growth are all things we'll discuss here. From expert guests and their stories to my own lessons, this show is an ongoing masterclass in how to believe in your brilliance and conquer your STEM career with confidence. Get a pen and paper and get ready for an education you wish you had in school. This is Her STEM Story, the podcast. Yay! So that's a real quick gist on what Her STEM Story is all about. So the show is solo episodes and guest episodes, and I love to mix it up and talk about personal growth and personal development and all the things that will help you grow and love your STEM careers, because the biggest problem in STEM is that we don't have gender balance, and there's a lot of work that has to be done to make STEM attractive for new people, for diverse people, and also to make STEM diverse in general, because STEM really needs diverse scientists, technologists, engineers, and mathematicians. Because when we have diversity in a room, then we can come up with better solutions and also sustainable solutions. So let's talk about our topic for today, which is sustainability. Sustainability in success in STEM and beyond, obviously, because we'll talk a lot about life things as well here. There's an option to comment. So there's a comment box here, a chat box here, so you can chat with me. You just put it in the comments under the live stream and ask questions. And again, as I said, we'll figure this out together, right? This is going to be amazing. And people who are listening to the audio version of this, welcome back to Her STEM Story, the podcast. The podcast is still available on all podcasting platforms. So let's talk about sustainability in your success. So let's take this example, right? So Her STEM Story started in November 2017, and first question that my mentor at the time, Finwell, asked me was, how are you going to sustain it? Right? Because there's this phenomenon that happens in podcasting. It's called pod fading. Pod fading is all about you start a podcast and you can't keep up with it and you stop producing it within 3 months or less. So that is a very popular phenomenon that happens to all podcasts and so many podcasts, and it's really difficult to sustain it. So many people start projects, so many people get on a track or a career path and then decide to stop, or feel like I'm so bored and I don't want to do this anymore, or just cannot sustain it long enough. And so how do you change that? How do you create something that's sustainable? What has worked for me and Her STEM Story is what I'm going to share in this episode today. Just the few things that you need for sustainable success. And through this, I hope that you will be able to sustain your projects, sustain your podcast, your YouTube channels, anything that you start on the side or even at work. Because a lot of the problem in our workplaces, especially as engineers and scientists, is that we're solving a lot of the same problems just because somebody did not create sustainable solutions. And when you think about sustainable solutions, you help your employer, you help yourself, you set yourself as a leader in the company, and you help people think differently and give them that perspective, that long term perspective. Because I hope whatever it is that you're doing, you don't want to waste your time, do you? Because if you don't think about sustainability, then you're definitely wasting your time. And so success has to be sustainable as well. So the reason why her STEM story is sustainable. Why didn't we pod fade? Over there, I took about 3, 4 months break, and for 1 minute, I thought, "Oh my God, will I ever go back to her STEM story?" As much as I'm in the favor of ending projects and saying goodbyes and starting something new, I'm also very, very passionate about sustaining things. So the biggest question I asked myself when I was on a break was, how can I make this content more accessible? What is it I really want to do and say? So, the number one step to creating sustainable success in STEM and beyond is clarity. And understanding that clarity is a cyclical process. To expect that clarity is a destination, and then there is no other work to be done just because you have certain amount of clarity, that is a really bad way of thinking. Clarity is cyclical, so that means if I am not clear on something halfway through a project, I need to think about, okay, I need to gather more clarity. So one of the tools that I use to get clarity is 100% journaling. Like, I'm a huge fan of journaling. Everybody knows this who follows me or has listened to our STEM story before. Journaling is a great way to get started and ask yourself those questions of, where am I stuck? What do I really want out of this situation, project, or even what does success mean? Something as simple as that can help you get clarity. And for me, I will be very honest, from day one, it has been that clarity has been impact, right? No matter what I do, how frequently I do, how consistently I do it, it has to create impact. For me, success is equal to impact. And I always think about it because I was mentored like that, coached like that. And so clarity is very important. Why are you doing something? What is behind it? What would it take for you to feel successful in this project? So really just getting clarity on the definition of your success in STEM and beyond is number one step to starting your journey to a sustainable career, sustainable project, and not fading away, because we need your ideas, right? So it's very, very important that we create something that lasts longer. So clarity is step number one. Number two, that I when I think about it, is that, especially taking the example of our STEM story, is that accountability, right? So partnership, accountability, having somebody else in the mix that can really help me think about things differently. When you're doing things all by yourself, and a lot of your side projects are like that, where you're doing it alone, you're trying to look up things on Google, and you're like, oh my God, I'm not sure which path to take. Accountability and support comes in really, really with a lot of value. Like, accountability and support adds a lot of value. And so I really, really encourage you to think about, okay, if I go down this path, who's going to hold me accountable, and what is that support look like? When her STEM story first started, the accountability was all about telling all my family and friends that I'm doing this, and then there was no way to back up. But as the show grew, I recognized that I needed a podcasting coach. So I ended up hiring somebody to help me. And so then comes in the support, right? In the beginning, you may have a lot of momentum and you're very excited to do something. But as you lose momentum, it's important to know that you also need support to continuously grow. And then when the show became something like, One Women in STEM, which is our conference, same thing. It was so important to sort of level up, invest in myself, think about who's going to hold me accountable. What is the support going to look like? What kind of support do I really need? As it became a business in January of 2020, the accountability went to another level. The support became partnership. The support became this really, really invested person who will help me continuously grow and continuously improve. Because if I don't have accountability and support, I know that I will lose steam eventually and I will not be able to sustain something. So accountability and support are the most important things that you can incorporate in your journey, in your STEM journey, in your career, and in your life. Because if you don't have those two, chances are you're going to struggle a lot and you're going to give up. And we don't want you to give up. And also, you're not supposed to do anything alone. Why do you believe that you will be, nobody's going to give you a medal at the end just because you did it alone? We can't do anything alone. We always need customers, clients, we need managers and people that we work for. We need a huge ecosystem to sustain anything. Have you ever thought about nature in general? Nature is a great example of sustainability because everything has to support each other. You know how they say if bees die, like humans will die in like whatever 24 months or so ever many months if there are no bees, because that's how much dependent we are on each other. So you're obviously dependent on others, but if you're intentional about it, then you can create accountability and you can create support. And my tip on that is to get a coach. You need a coach, guys. Otherwise, you're going to be very, very stressed. You're going to be very, very lost. So you can either get coaches that are specific to your area that you're growing into, or it could be for areas that you're maintaining. But figuring out what does that coach look like, what does that support look like, what does that accountability look like, you can totally start creating sustainable success and think about, I will never be able to do this alone. I need somebody to support me. Her STEM story would not be here if it wasn't for the support of the community, if it wasn't for the support of my own coach, if it wasn't for the support and accountability that everybody provides me, that is a part of my community that I've built over years. So super, super important to get accountability and support. And number 3, this is also extremely important, is that constantly having the sustainability mindset. You cannot just think about sustainability once and forget about it. It doesn't work that way. You need to figure out how you can create that mindset, which is long term, creates a longevity, right? Which gives you that way of thinking. And because sustainability is a way of thinking, there's so much work that's being done in sustainability in businesses, sustainability in the environment, sustainability everywhere. It's really important that we use it as a mindset so that we're not solving the same problems again and again, but we are growing and creating something that lasts longer, that grows, and that has the has everything in place for it to sustain itself over time. Otherwise, your projects will fade away, your ideas will fade away, you will burn out, you will feel lost, you will feel worried, and guess what? You will never feel confident about other projects because you have bad data to show for, right? That, oh, I started a podcast, never kept up with it. Started a YouTube channel, never kept up with it. Started a new career or job and change quickly. But yes, so thinking about it this way, if you have that mindset, I promise you, your success will be long term, your success will be sustainable, and you'll continuously evolve, because that's what very, very important. If we don't evolve, then it's very boring, right? So that's how her STEM story is evolving too, bringing you live stream. Again, figuring it out as we go, but thank you so much for being a part of this. If you subscribe to the Her STEM Story YouTube channel, you will get notifications for the weekly live streams. And if you're listening to this on your favorite podcasting app, then don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast, because your support means the world to me. And make sure you share it with your friends and family and every woman you know in STEM, because Her STEM Story is sharing real stories of extraordinary women from around the world in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics careers, and helping you up-level your STEM career with tips, tricks, coaching, and techniques that you can't find anywhere else. So thank you so much for listening, and wishing you all the best in creating the most sustainable form of success that you can in STEM and beyond. See you next week. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.